Gasping and a half hours left in today's session and 0 minutes played so far. This leaderboard could mutate fast.
Javier Madley holds the $1,000 first prize position right now. Defend the throne or get dethroned.
If POV 25 and wants that 1,000, the push has to start now. Second place pays, but it doesn't make history.
Tembara Raja remains the pivotal variable. A single strong session could reorder our top three entirely.
Strap in elevator division. The doors are closed, the prize pool is waiting, and Market Mayhem has officially begun. Momentum explosion. At 9:33 a.m. ET, Javier Madley rips MMM for a $1,833 surge and tightens his grip on first place.
That's how leaders operate. Eat the $1,000 hit and still stand tall because the green candles are fatter than the red ones.
Contextually, at 9:34 a.m. ET, his cumulative tournament net P&L today now stands at $8,155.43 overall, a statistically meaningful expansion of the lead.
MMM is the war drum. Another spike at 9:31 a.m. ET for $1,910. This ticker is breathing fire for the throne defender.
Quietly, MEXD stacked gains too. $590.4 at 9:30 a.m. ET, and another $593.1 at 9:32 a.m. ET. That's discipline scaling.
Meanwhile, the bottom table is shaking. At 9:33 a.m. ET, Bull Beast takes a $769 hit on APL. This is danger territory.
When you're already negative overall in the tournament and you press into a falling AAPL, that's how drawdowns compound.
The gap between first and second is widening again. The probabilistic burden now shifts to the chasers to produce an outsized session.
4 minutes into the session, and the leader is already stacking four-figure bursts. This is championship pacing.
But there's 6 hours and 26 minutes left, one reversal in APL and the script flips. We are not done.
At 9:37 a.m. ET, Javier Maddaley gets clipped for $941.40 on MA, but the king is still standing on the grand leaderboard.
As of 9:38 a.m. ET, Javier Maddaley's cumulative tournament net PNL today sits at $8,037.48 overall, still a statistically commanding first place.
Heartbreaker at 9:36 a.m. ET. Nimish K. Singh slammed with a $13.52 big loss, and his morning momentum just evaporated.
Despite that drawdown, he remains fourth overall at $3,485.1 cumulative, which preserves structural podium potential.
Bull Beast is wrestling APL again. Another $726 hit at 9:37 a.m. ET after that brutal cascade.
When AAPL keeps printing red at 9:35, 9:36 and 9:37 a.m. ET, that's not a dip, that's a lesson.
Chidambara Raja is still lurking at $4,645 overall. One explosive ticker and this whole podium reshuffles.
8 minutes in, 6 hours and 22 to go, and Javier Maddaley is absorbing $1,000 swings like a champion defending the $1,000 throne. It is rank 1 versus rank 13, as Javier 116 stands at $1,810.32 at 9:42 a.m. ET, while Bull Beast sits at negative $671 at 9:42 a.m. ET. This is a leaderboard canyon.
Look at the swing. Javier 116 climbed from a trough of negative $799.1 earlier in the week to $1,810.32 at 9:42 a.m. ET. while Bull Beast peaked at $896 before sliding to negative $671 by 9:42 a.m. ET.
At 9:39 a.m. ET, Javier 116 detonated MMM for a $1,767 surge, an explosive pivot that helped propel him toward that $1,810.32 mark we see at 9:42 a.m. ET.
Meanwhile, at 9:41 a.m. ET, Bull Beast is getting dragged by AAPL for negative $633, and his total is parked at negative $671 at 9:42 a.m. ET.
In terms of diversification, Javier 116 has traded 7 stocks by 9:42 a.m. ET, compared to just 1 stock for Bull Beast breadth versus concentration.
Peak performance check, $2,081.88 was the high watermark for Javier 116 earlier this week, while Bull Beast topped out at $896 before gravity took over.
At 9:36 a.m. ET, Cisco pumped $418 for Javier 116, and that momentum stack is part of why he is still glowing green at 9:42 a.m. ET.
Contrast that with 9:35 a.m. ET, when AAPL printed negative $822 for Bull Beast, an early drag that foreshadowed the negative $671 standing we observe at 9:42 a.m. ET.
Green posture versus red posture at 9:42 a.m. ET. Javier 116 defending first with $1,810.32, while Bull Beast fights uphill from negative $671.
Gasping 9:34 a.m. ET, Lin added $326.7 for Javier 116. He was stacking bricks before the fireworks even peaked.
Statistically speaking, $1,810.32 at 9:42 a.m. ET versus negative $671 at 9:42 a.m. ET is not merely a gap, it is a probabilistic fortress for the current leader.
This is the elevator division duel. Javier 116 holding first at $1,810.32 at 9:42 a.m. ET, and Bull Beast battling from negative $671 at 9:42 a.m. ET for pride and positioning.
And at 9:38 a.m. ET, MMM blasted $1,841 for Javier 116. This is why he can take hits and still stand tall at 9:42 a.m. ET.
The leader is on a heater at 9:45 a.m. ET. Javier Madali is up $1,791 on the session and stretching his cumulative tournament total to $8,057.7 overall. First place is fortified.
And it's ticker chaos. At 9:44 a.m. ET, MMM detonated for a $1,784 surge for Javier Madali. Green candles everywhere.
And he doubled down on momentum. At 9:45 a.m. ET, Cisco added another $528 in profit. This is relentless pressure from the number 1 seed.
When you're already negative $1,438.62 overall in the tournament, and you keep pressing the same red ticker, that's not conviction, that's pain shopping.
A sharp drawdown earlier as well at 9:36 a.m. ET. Nimish K. Singh absorbed a $1,352 loss in a single event, compressing his session momentum despite holding $3,458.1 overall in the tournament.
But the podium hunters are watching. Chidamba Raja, at $4,645 overall, is still within striking distance of second 1 explosive trade, and the silver medal is contested. 20 minutes into Market Mayhem, and Javier Madali is still king of the elevator with $8,234.95 overall in cumulative tournament P&L.
Gasping Pew 25 and NIS frozen at $4,901 overall. And the fireworks up top are getting loud. Second place needs ignition.
Chidambara Raja, at $4,645 overall, is lurking in third, but lurking doesn't pay the $1,000.
Rewind to 9:44 a.m. ET. MM detonates for plus $1,784 for Javier Madali, and the arena felt that shock wave.
Cisco has been a stabilizing counterweight at 9:47 a.m. ET. It printed a $540.38 gain, buffering prior drawdowns.
Meanwhile, Nimish K. Singh finally gets a pulse at 9:48 a.m. ET. NVDA flips from red to plus $313.5. Took long enough.
That NVDA snapback yanked him from negative territory to positive on the symbol in seconds. Momentum whiplash.
Down the table, Bull Beast keeps wrestling APP, and at 9:44 a.m. ET, it slammed him for negative $661. This is trench warfare.
His cumulative tournament number sits at negative $1,419.62 overall as of 9:50 a.m. ET. That's a long climb back to daylight.